Well, thank you guys for coming in. Again, this is really awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, certainly. Just to start, just both introduce yourself. Tell me a little bit about, how you identify yourself as a musician or whatever.
Sure. So I'm Olivia. I go by Olivia Elizabeth Basar for my music. But most people that know me call me Liv. But yeah, as far as my music goes, with the songs I've released so far, I do have a lot of people tell me that they hear a lot of 90s kind of inspiration or early 2000s, indie rock, pop kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I do hear that a lot as far as anyone that's ever listened to my music. Okay. So
yeah. And then Tyler, just kind of give me a little overview of who is Tyler?
Yeah, I'm Tyler Adkins. I've been a musician my whole life, played in bands around here, been producing for the past 15 years or so. It's kind of my main gig now.
So how did this collaboration, it seemed, is this an ongoing collaboration?
Yeah. So really it goes back to 2018. Okay. I had a coworker, I guess she saw a video I posted on, I don't know where it was, Instagram or Facebook or something, just of me singing a cover. And she's like, "Oh, you have a really good voice. Have you ever recorded anything professionally, had anything like that done?" And I was like, "No, I've never been to a recording studio or had anything recorded." And she's like, "Oh, I have this friend, Tyler, he does music production and he used to live in LA and he worked with some really great people out there. And if you ever wanted to record something, here's his info." So that's kind of how it started. Towards the end of 2022, I was like, I'm ready to record a song. And it ended up being my first single, which is called The Pattern. I think at that point I was just kind of I had wanted to release music for so long, but I just kind of kept putting it off. And I was like, nothing is good enough. I don't think this is I didn't know what to do. And I think I just reached a point where I was like, I just need to release a song and just get it started and just do that. Yeah. So that's what I did. And then since then I've been just releasing singles. But yeah, I would like to put together a body of work, a album or EP or something. Right. Just because that's honestly how I like to listen to my music. I've never really been a playlist kind of person. I like artists that have a body of work that I can listen to it all together.
Yeah. That's interesting because that does seem like a lost, I don't want to say art, a lost cultural thing from before streaming happened. Yeah. Now it's, it is interesting that people release singles and there's no album. Right. Because that's not the way it used to work. It was you make the album, then you start releasing individual songs. But who are some of the artists that you feel have made an album that you felt was really coherent and, it benefited to hear the whole album rather than just one song?
Mitski's Be the Cowboy. Okay. And then I also really love this album. It's by an artist, Kate Davis, Fishbowl, which I feel like that is another one that's kind of good to listen as a whole. Just because I think she said when she wrote that, it was kind of she almost created a character to write through because it made it easier to express what she was going through by creating this outside thing. Yep. So yeah, those are the two that I guess come to mind for me. Yeah.
Anything come to mind for you?
I mean, I grew up in the 90s, so I that's all I did was listen to albums, so there's so many. I don't know if I could pick one, but
Incubus.
Yeah, John Mayer's Continuum.
Yeah, he loves John Mayer.
John Mayer gets a bad rap, and yet he's so good.
He's so good.
His songwriting, his guitar, everything. He's the kind of guy you almost love to hate. You listen to songs, you're like, damn, that's really good.
Yeah. I've always loved John Mayer. Yeah. Yeah, Incubus was a big influence. I would listen to stuff more for like the production than, the songwriting.
Yeah.
And like Brendan O'Brien did everything in the 90s and that, like that stuff was just like left a mark on me.
I find it real interesting because the production seems almost intrinsic these days in certain styles of music. I mean, the production is so, I mean, if you know what's going on, some of the production is so, it's almost like a part of the band, essentially.
Yeah.
Like whoever's the producer or the engineer is really a part of the band. And I was actually really interested to hear Achilles acoustically.
Yeah.
Is it a surprise to you when you start working on it in the studio and you're like, oh, this is totally
right.
It's becoming a different thing than what I initially thought. Like, has that happened before where you're like, oh, this is getting really interesting here,
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, that probably happens every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not that I am. I mean, sometimes I do feel totally clueless. I'm like, I'm not sure. like, I feel like with like Achilles, like with that one, we leaned more like into like pop stuff, so, which I'm pretty open to. Like, if he has suggestions, sometimes, we'll go back and forth about it, and I'm like, I don't think that works. Like,
there's definitely versions, that get thrown away till we find the right thing. But it usually, takes 2 or 3 versions of it until we're
kind of trying
happy.
different sounds and like. Yeah,
that's the part that I like though is that it is always a surprise.
Yeah.
Like I don't have any sound in my head thinking like this is what it's got to sound like. I just try things.
Yeah.
And when something makes me like excited, that's the thing.
Yeah.
At least for me.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, no, I have this, sound in my head and it's got to come out this way.
Right.
I don't work that way. I just like the process of like sifting through sounds and seeing what the possibilities are.
Right. It's a discovery. You're sort of discovering what the song wants to be or something like that. Yeah.
I feel like for me, it kind of depends on the song. Like sometimes I am pretty, like I have no idea. And then some of them I sort of have a very vague like idea of like sounds that I hear, but it's also me trying to communicate that to him because I don't necessarily have, it's not recorded anywhere. It's just me like trying to be like,
that's
boop,
a really
boop, beep bop. Like
that's
this
a really
is what
difficult
I'm
thing to do.
Like,
to explain to somebody else the sound that's in your head and have them bring it out of the speakers is so difficult.
Even between engineers sometimes. I mean, like we have a language of like, oh, I want delay on that or something. But even then, sometimes it can be hard to really express the vibe that you're going for. I mean, sometimes it's so almost like nebulous what makes a song sound a certain way.
Yeah.
And tell me about the songs. If you want to talk about, the lyrics or, you know, maybe a place you had in mind. Yeah.
So with Achilles, I think sometimes, I mean, a lot of my songs are like, there's some personal influence to them. With Achilles, though, I feel like I might have just like someone was talking about like an Achilles heel or something. Like I don't even know where it was, like somewhere online. I don't even know what it was referencing, but it was like, oh, like a weakness. And I mean, the whole idea of the song is basically just like a person that's your weakness, like that might not be the best for you, but like you keep going back to them kind of thing. And like Achilles heel, like that part, like I just kept the Achilles part because I'm like, well, heel doesn't fit in the song. So I'm like, hopefully everyone understands that like I'm trying to talk about like.
Yeah. I feel like just that word alone works because it's it's a phrase that I think people know. And
it's a Greek god, the whole idea.
Yeah.
I was worried about it.
Really?
No, I was worried about the word heel not being attached to it. I was like, is anybody going to know what you're talking about?
Interesting.
Well, I think my mom was like...
Yeah, your mom didn't understand it.
I was like, Mom...
That's funny because to me, it didn't even cross my mind. Like, I knew exactly what we were going for. But that's interesting that some people, it just didn't... Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the I guess word association or something. But.
Yeah. Well, like told her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, yeah." I was like, "Okay, Mom."
Well, you know, sometimes that is the fun of a song, is that
Yeah.
it's not fully explained, and
Right.
you know, that can lead people to be, you know, get curious and wonder, or even sometimes interpret it their own way, which can be kind of fun as well. So, yeah, that's really cool. And then old habits die hard.
I think that one was probably a little more personal, just like, I mean, it's in the title, like about like having bad coping mechanisms, and just kind of wanting to break away from them, but you keep going back to it because it's how you've learned to cope and deal with stress and your problems.
When a melody does pop in your head, do you ever question where that came from? Like, why? Because some people will attribute it to God. Some people just attribute it to your mind just being relaxed at that time. Do you have any like thoughts on why things pop into your head that didn't exist there before?
I think it might just be like sometimes if I'm not trying to write or paying attention to it, it's just kind of like when you're looking for something and you can't find it, and then
you stop.
And then you like, but like this, like, I don't know where it's coming from, but it's like almost because my mind is like, if I'm focusing on, like I'm doing work or something else, like, and it just kind of springs from, I don't know where. Yeah. Honestly.
It's fascinating. I mean, I don't know either.
It's like maybe it is because I'm like in a relaxed, like my mind isn't focusing on it. So it's just like allowing whatever to come out.
So you played music most of your life? Piano, guitar?
Yeah. So piano was my first instrument. I took piano lessons as a kid. I remember like going to my piano teacher and I'm like, oh, I want to sing and play like contemporary songs. She was actually really open to it, and I would just like learn different songs.
Do you remember like the first song you wanted to play?
It was probably like 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton, because I'm a huge Vanessa Carlton fan.
Yeah, that was a great song.
Guitar wasn't that I picked up like a few years ago. It was actually, I think, kind of you. Like, like he didn't teach me, but like his main instrument is guitar. And then there was like an old guitar that I think my dad had bought because he wanted to learn, and he's not musical, and it just ended up getting passed to my sister, and then she wasn't using it. So it was just this guitar that was sitting around. So then I just kind of started playing around with it.
You were its last hope.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, that poor guitar. I mean, I give him credit for attempting. Yeah. But yeah, so I ended up with that guitar. I'm not even sure where it went at this point, but so guitar is like a newer instrument for me. Although I feel like I tend to write more on guitar for whatever reason. I don't really know. I'm just more, maybe just because it's easier to like have it there.
So it almost feels, I always felt like it was a little more, I don't want to say intimate, but you're literally holding the instrument and you can almost curl up around it. Where a piano or a keyboard, you kind of have to be sitting in a certain position to play. Like guitar, you can kind of like sit in a bunch of different positions and play.
Yeah, you can just like lay down.
Yeah,
just like lay basically and like labor.
Well, being a new instrument for you, it's also voiced differently, and you know, you'll come up with different ideas on a guitar than you would a piano. So inspiration it would be different. You know,
I do find that like anything I have written on like piano, it's like different than guitar. Like it's just like the way I write it's a different process.
Well, and probably rhythmically too. I mean, guitar, just by the simple nature of how you strum it. I mean, granted, you can do picking and all that kind of finger picking and stuff like that, but it sometimes lends itself towards different rhythms and tempos, I think, than, you know, when you play any other instrument.
Right.
Yeah. Was there a song early on in your life, you know, maybe when you were, you know, like 10 or 11 or 12 or something that really hit you particularly strongly and made you think, oh, wow, I want to do that. Like the way that made me feel, like I want to do that kind of thing too. Was there a song like that for you? Or even maybe an artist or something?
Well, I was a huge Avril Lavigne fan, like, because I was around like 10, 11, 12. Like, I feel like when her first couple albums came out. And yeah, I mean, I like burned through those CDs, like in my little like like I played them all the time.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I feel like I'm trying to think, like at that point in time, like that was like I wouldn't say angsty, but it was like, you know, it was just like that music for me was like how I related to like some of the emotions in those songs.
I feel like at a certain age, usually around like puberty or something like that, like all of a sudden you start to understand like the power of music a little more because all the hormones and stuff. Like, I just remember like having a couple songs really hit me, like, and I'd always been listening to music as a kid, but then like I hit that age and like all of a sudden like Ordinary World by Duran Duran just like meant everything to me, you know? And I think it's real interesting to hear like what hit people at that moment.
Yeah,
you know?
like when you became like aware that the impact of music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Tyler? Was there anything from that age?
I mean, I started young for me. I'm not ashamed of this. What It Takes by Aerosmith was like my anthem when I was like 7.
Yeah.
Those Aerosmith cassettes, my little radio. Oh my God, I played the shit out of those.
Did you have a big collection of like cassette singles too?
Yeah. I had an older brother. I mean, my whole family is into music, so there was always cassettes and stuff around. My older brother, my dad. But yeah, What It Takes by Aerosmith was like, man.
Nice.
And then I do remember getting out an old record player at one point and putting Let It Be by the Beatles on.
Oh, okay.
And when the needle hit the record and the sound came off of it, I was like, holy shit. That's awesome. I'll always remember that moment. But yeah.
Is there any like songs or music that would be surprising that you like that people wouldn't expect?
I mean, I do like some like Kendrick Lamar and stuff. I don't know if that's surprising to people, but
right, but it's kind of out of the genre that you're doing. Yeah.
Because I do tend to listen to a lot of like indie rock, like that, that's a very general term. It's like, okay, what does indie rock mean?
Yeah, it is a funny term these days, but after a while it did start to develop a sort of sound, although it is pretty broad, but I mean, it used to be indie rock just meant it was probably college radio or something like that. And then that somehow became the name of a genre of music, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of seems like anything that you play real instruments on and is kind of rock and roll is called indie rock.
Right.
It's just like the new rock and roll.
Alternative. Alternative is another weird one that has
it's like, it's all, what does that mean?
It used to be Nirvana and Pearl Jam, and now it's like all sorts of stuff that does not sound anything like that anymore.
Yeah.
What was the first live concert that you chose to go to, like bought tickets for? As opposed to like your parents took you to something when you were younger.
Yeah, because like for that, it was probably like Britney Spears. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay,
like I didn't buy tickets for that, but.
That's actually still an interesting answer. Though.
That was probably, or there was some kind of like Nickelodeon thing and it was like Britney and like all these different pop people.
Okay.
But that wasn't, that was just because I was like, 7 or whatever.
Right.
And I was
like,
this
big event with some, some Nickelodeon stars or something. So
probably I'm trying to. It might have been like Coldplay.
Oh wow, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I went through a huge like Coldplay obsession phase, which I still love them. Like I haven't really listened to like their newer stuff, but like their older stuff from like the early 2000s, mid 2000s.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of the first one that I'm thinking of.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, my first concert ever, I was 13. My parents took me. It was Green Day.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the first concert I like bought tickets to was probably Fuel and Jimmy's Chicken Shack.
Oh yeah, locals.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I took my mom's car to Allentown. And told her I was just like going to a friend's house or something.
Oh, I think you told me that.
And bought like scalp tickets.
That's funny.
That were, who knows if they were legit, but that show was amazing.
I remember the first, like, I went to see live the Throwing Copper tour.
Yeah.
And I just remember it was a combination of like excitement and also intimidation because I'd never heard sound that big before at like a stadium concert.
Yeah.
What do you remember, like how you guys felt when you were at like one of these, your first like big event like that?
I was blown away.
I get like adrenaline, like it's almost like, especially, well, like if I'm talking about the Coldplay one, like it's so like the lights and everything, the production that they put on, like it's so like bigger than yourself. It's definitely like, for me, it almost feels like an adrenaline rush.
Yeah. Almost like overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, that's them. Like you're also like, you're seeing these famous people, but then there's this massive sound and these lights, and it's just like this sensory overload sometimes. Yeah. So I was browsing your Instagram account earlier, and I do have to ask about the cartwheel. Are you recovered from that now? Or,
I'm okay. Tyler recorded me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I think you just said like, oh, can you do a cartwheel? Or I was...
Something to...
I don't know. I was just like out in the yard, and I was like, I haven't done a cartwheel in a really long time. It's been like over 10 years, I'm sure. And I was like, I'm going to try it. So he recorded it, and I was like, actually, that was pretty good. But I'm in no pain any longer.
That's good.
It wasn't long-term injury.
Yeah. Do you like using social media for music promotion? I hear a lot of mixed signals about how people feel about it, because there's a lot of negative connotations about social media and mental health and stuff, and yet it is also, it's just the way that you market your music these days. I mean, what's your overall feeling about it?
I agree that it's overwhelming just because you're like constantly trying to like push stuff out to people and be like, hey, here, I'm over here. But actually, like, I feel like recently I've really been like amping up my posting on like TikTok, like multiple times a day, just like, even if it's stupid stuff, because that's what like the algorithm seems to like. And I do think there is something to it with like, just like people seeing you. But it can be a lot. Like it can, when you're just constantly online and like trying to like promote, like self-promote, and it's like, sometimes it is like tiring. But
some people I've talked to, they expressly don't like it, but they do it because they have to. And other people, it is fun because you're making content, you're trying to come up with new, doing cartwheel, coming up with ideas to just try and, market your music. So I'm always curious how people feel about it, because some, they just feel like it's this slog that you just have to keep doing. And they don't like that. And others, it seems to just click with them. Like it seems almost natural to.
Some people just like creating. I mean, I do like usually if I have a new song, like I'll put together some kind of like video, like, for like 20, 30 seconds of the song to like post when it's out. And I do kind of like putting those together, because I can kind of get a little bit creative just like in different editing apps and that kind of stuff. But I mean, like the day-to-day, like just like posting, like, here's my song, like, like TikTok. I also like have gone live on there, like just like singing. And that seems to like also help, because like people can kind of see more of your personality, and like it feels more like intimate almost, and they can ask you questions. So I feel like that's kind of helped me find people that actually like my music and are like, oh, like we're excited to hear your next song, or we want to see what else you do. So I do think there is something to it, but it can get like exhausting sometimes, even with like like bigger like artists, I feel like people used to take like long breaks between albums, like it would be a few years, and now it's just like you have to constantly be like, it's like, you know, like Taylor Swift like releasing an album every year. It's like that's a lot. Like I mean, someone like her with like obviously like the team she has, but it's just like that constant like need for like gratification. Like people want stuff, so like I feel like artists take less time like away from releasing
You're
stuff.
You're just always putting stuff out every whatever 6 months or 9 months or something. Well, and that kind of ties back into the idea that, you know, people aren't always releasing albums, they're just doing singles. So now maybe you
just
know,
take your time, and
exactly, it's like
it is kind of an album
over like 2 years or something like that, essentially. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, it's a different way.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
just a very different way of doing it.
Yeah. I think I've heard people say like, they're like, oh, for like, you know, the Spotify algorithm, it's like every 6 to 8 weeks you need to drop a song. And I was just like, it's just like, I don't, you have to like keep feeding it.
And then again, that kind of ties back to the social media thing. It's like, it's a very different, it's not like you just make an album, maybe do some shows, and then, you know, sort of refresh and, you know, come back at it. It's like, it almost feels like this constant trickle of like content that you've got to put out there, whether it's a song or a video or something.
You kind of have to put out better songs though now, because you know, you'd have the singles and then the rest of the album was like, who cares? You know?
The filler.
The filler. There's no more filler songs.
It is interesting. You're right, because like everyone now, like there's so much more attention on each song because you release that as a single. So it's like, you know, that's kind of,
can't just phone it in anymore.
What is your favorite or most used smartphone app?
I don't know, probably TikTok.
What does the algorithm feed you? Like, I'm curious to hear like what you're seeing when you watch TikTok, because it's different for all of us.
I mean, lately, since I've been posting a lot of like music stuff, just like sharing my songs, I have been getting actually a lot of other just like smaller artists, which is cool because like some of them are super supportive of me. Like one like bought like a t-shirt merch, cool. And just like sharing my music. So it's cool to see like other smaller artists like supporting and just like finding their music. I also get a lot of like, I feel like a lot of like outfit of the days, like just like people showing their outfits, because I mean, I like that kind of stuff, like seeing what people wear and what they put together. So I get a lot of that.
Mine's like music production stuff and like baseball and cute animals.
There's a woman who does like engineering tips. She's British. Do you know who I'm talking about? And she's got great tips too. And so like I'm always, anytime I scroll past one of hers, she's always got something that's really useful. And it's not, a lot of people are really going, this is kind of getting a little technical, but a lot of people are going really overkill. Like I read some Reddit stuff and like everyone's like, you got to sidechain everything to everything. And like this frequency's got to be sidechained to the kick. And it's like, you remember they used to make records 40 years ago and they didn't have all these tools. Like you can make a great record without, you know, just doing all this crazy stuff. And I read that, I'm like, am I missing out on something?
No, you're
and I'm
not.
like, no, they made great records.
Well, and then you go and look at the actual top guys that are doing it, and no, we don't do that.
I know, and I see that on Reddit. Like, I'll sometimes see a comment and be like, "You don't need to do this crap." Like,
if there's a kid with no credits telling me to sidechain my kick, I'm just like, well, there's a kid with no credits.
Right.
Not going to sidechain my kick.
And again, there's a time and a place for that
it's
stuff.
sometimes,
like,
but not every.
They start to take it as a rule, like gospel. Like every song, everything has to be sidechained to everything to like, so nothing ever hits at the same time.
It's
like
nonsense.
the vocal ducts.
I don't even know what sidechain means.
So
it's just a bunch of extra work.
Like, it's a bunch of extra work. That's a good way of putting it. But there can be really good stuff on social media as well. Like there's that, you know, if you're looking for tips on like recording or something like that. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it is, but it is like a drug though, you know, like you go down the wrong rabbit hole and like you're just watching police videos for an hour and you don't feel good about that. At least I don't.
I got sucked into people just like arguing. Who I don't know who they are or what they're arguing about, but you just keep watching it.
And
then that's all that would come up. And then after a while, I'd have to scroll past really fast to get
Yeah,
that
you
out
have
of my
to like
algorithm.
reset your algorithm with like something else.
But it's funny how people know how to grab your attention immediately and get views.
Yeah.
It's the lizard brain. Like that stuff just appeals to our like most base, you know, like instincts, which is whether it's violence or funny or, you know, just like something that's, you know, triggers your brain somehow. What else are you into outside of music?
I'm trying to think.
And it's okay
I really
if
like, I mean, I'm really into like thrifting.
Oh, nice.
Like clothes. Like I never, like, I don't think I ever really shopped at thrift stores when I was younger. And then I feel like sometime within like the last 3-4 years, like I just started going, and like now I just love like finding, like when I find something that's like really good, I'm like, oh yes, like
it's like finding a treasure. Or
yeah, exactly.
Tyler, anything outside of?
I love baseball.
Okay.
I love dogs. Being outside, riding my bike, you know, taking long walks.
That's great. That's all healthy
boring stuff.
Yeah. It's better than TikTok, really.
Yeah, get outside.
Well, thank you both for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Message gets lost somehow. Old habits die hard.